So for those of you who are interested in either learning or improving your jazz, I just wanted to give you guys some personal recommendations on things that have been useful and beneficial to me in both of those categories. And all these things I'm going to discuss, they can help you both learn if you don't already know, or improve if you already know a little bit uh, your jazz playing and listening and all that stuff. So first thing I would recommend in terms of learning and also improving your jazz would be to get your hands on some solid jazz books. There are a lot of books out there that discuss the theory behind jazz, that discuss how to play jazz, how to listen to jazz, and getting these books will definitely be foundational in helping you to either learn or improve your ability to play jazz. One of the ones I would recommend is the Jazz Theory book from Mark Levine, and it's widely considered to be one of the best books in the market in terms of teaching you the theory behind jazz, how to play it, all that good stuff. Another one I would recommend is the Berklee Book of Jazz Harmony. Now, as you can tell from the title, the focus on that book's a little bit more narrow. It concerns itself primarily with the harmonies in jazz, but also another fantastic book that you can learn a lot from. There are a lot of other books out there too that discuss how to listen to jazz and other jazz theory books. I just recommend that you get your hands on some solid jazz books to learn the theory behind it if you don't already know it, or if you do already know jazz theory, just appreciating the plurality of perspectives and different ways that the stuff can be discussed, right? One of the fun things about jazz. So get your hands on some solid jazz books. Another recommendation I would have, it would be to listen. Listen to as much jazz as you can comfortably. Listen to the greats from all the different jazz eras, whether the Dixie era, Chicago era, bop, modern, cool, whatever eras of jazz you are into, the modern, the postmodern era, whatever it may be. Listen to the greats from those eras. Listen to how they play, and don't just listen, but also try and transcribe what you hear, whether you play on the piano or the guitar or whatever instrument it may be. Try and figure out what's being played and trying to replicate that on the instrument that you play will definitely help in developing the ear that is useful and to a degree needed in jazz. And the good thing is that ear can be developed through a lot of transcribing, so I'd recommend that you do that. Another thing I would recommend would be to watch a lot of jazz, as in as much as you can, live performances of jazz musicians. There's just something unique about watching jazz musicians play where you kind of see the way that they subliminally talk to each other, communicate with each other while playing instruments. You can kind of see how they feed off of each other and play off of one another. It's a thing that it's kind of hard to learn off of the pages of a book. You want to get into a place where you can listen to some live jazz and see how they play with one another. Final recommendation I would have for you in terms of learning and improving your jazz would be to find other jazz musicians and just talk with them and play jazz with them. Not much beats. Personally playing with other and talking with other jazz musicians, one of the things that we want to kind of avoid is because there can be such a plurality of perspectives in terms of discussing various jazz ideas. I feel like sometimes if we're left to our own thoughts, sometimes we kind of get into the habit of discussing certain things or thinking about certain characteristics of jazz or ways of playing jazz in a too one-tracked kind of a way of thinking and doing. And so just talking and playing with other jazz musicians helps you stay fresh in terms of playing jazz in different ways or thinking about it in different ways. So those are what I would recommend to you. Get your hands on some solid jazz books, first and foremost. Listen and transcribe jazz. Watch jazz if you can get to live performances to watch them play. Do that. And last but not least, talk to and play with other jazz musicians you can find on a more local, laid-back kind of a level. So if you have any other recommendations, feel free to drop them in the comments. Other than that, I hope this video has been useful to you. So happy playing, huh?